Hey, it's Kat. But one of the things I do is research, and I cover some interesting stories, let's say tales. Um, but anyway, I was doing some research about the whole Kate Middleton story, and I found out some interesting things. By the way, I'm in Los Angeles, and it is St. Patty's Day. And as you can see, it's very green here, which brings me to some of those Kate Middleton photos. Well, they weren't really photos. They were composites in a hodgepodge of crap. But I'm a photographer, so not that that means anything, but I do cover some interesting stories, some interesting court cases, and I do know a little bit about manipulating photographs. But when I first saw that picture of her with the kids, excuse me, I'm shooting right now, and you guys are like banging. Do you mind if you guys either do that somewhere else? I really appreciate it, thanks. It's so funny when you're actually trying to do something, there's always somebody making a hell of a lot of noise. I'm right by a soccer field, by the way, which is cool, but I have a microphone on, so hopefully you can hear me. Anyway, I prefer on location because also I work in the entertainment industry. Not that you give a shit. But anyway, getting back to the photograph of Kate Middleton wearing jeans and holding her children. One, it was very, very green, and I was saying, I don't think it's as green in England as it was in that photograph. Plus, considering the palace said all that stuff about, Kate was not doing well, she was, recovering, I didn't think it'd be wise for her to be wearing tight jeans and having her children, like squeezing her children or having her children, like, holding her that way. If we were taking what the palace said as being true. Obviously, it was a lie. And what's really interesting, too, is there's so many lies, and they thought they could get away with it. The audacity that they thought they'd get away with it. And it reminds me of so many stories about psychopathic narcissism. What's interesting also is I don't even know if it's just psychopathic narcissism. One of the many talented people, I believe her name is Whimsy. She's a remote viewer, tarot card reader, seer, multiple disciplinary person. I think she's also a doctor, but she had some very wonderful insights about this whole situation. But she used the word malignant narcissism. And that comes to mind. If any of you have ever been in a relationship where someone's lied to you multiple times, cheated on you, didn't care about your feelings, and just kept acting like you were going to accept it, you were dealing with a narcissist and narcissistic abuse. So, for those of you who do not know me, I covered the Tory Lanez case. And I didn't know anything about Tory Lanez, but as I sat and watched what transpired in that courtroom, and as I actually investigated the stories that were told by Kelsey Harris and Megan Thee Stallion did not ring true when it comes to factual evidence and not telling the whole story. For instance, there was a fight between the women, why they fought, and what they were fighting over. And also, the prosecution denied doing a DNA test on Megan for the gun, and they assumed the gun was Tory. So my whole thing is, if you're going to do a court case or if you're going to put stuff out in public, it has to be backed by facts, and you have to be able to question authority. That goes for The DAs, the prosecution, the police, the government, even the monarchy. But I believe they just kicked a ball over the fence, and I'm not getting it. I believe that, this is about privilege, the highest form of white privilege. It's the monarchy and how they treat women. A lot of us girls were raised believing in Prince Charming and all those fairy tales, Sleeping Beauty, blah, 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 evil stepmother. But literally, you are seeing it in real time right now. I find this whole story insane, but also entertaining, and it's a great whodunit. So let me try to get back to facts. Because the palace, or let's say William, put out those photographs. The first photograph was of Kate Middleton allegedly being driven by her mother. But when you looked, that TMZ, who I called Team Zero, who has a history of aiding and abetting abusers, whether it be Bryan Singer, Suge Knight, Cat Williams, Jay-Z, the football player that dragged his wife, they promote in so many different ways abusing women. And it's interesting because Harvey Levin is a homosexual. And I bring that up for some reasons. I'm not gay bashing. What I'm trying to do is paint a picture that men who are loyal to men, for instance, also Harvey Levin was pro-Trump for a very long time. He only stopped being pro-Trump once he realized it might be affecting some of his viewership. But he went to the White House. He interviewed Trump at Trump Tower. He was, in my opinion, he loves being around powerful men. And no matter what they do, he's going to promote them, right? So Harvey Levin, TMZ, put out that photograph. And what was hilarious is there was like extra wheels on the car underneath the mom's side of the car. 5 or 6, I don't even remember, but I remember looking at the photograph, what the fuck? And also the picture did not look like Kate Middleton, it looked like Pippa, but also people found out, there's so many different great eyes out there. They were saying that the person in the car, if it was Pippa, was wearing a wig and they could tell. But also there's a thing called Google Lens, where you can snap on a picture and it will tell you what items are in the picture. I don't know if these people realize that. So we had that picture. We had the picture with Kate Middleton surrounded by her kids. One had a finger twisted in a funny way. One skirt didn't match up. There were just so many things. And also it was just too green. That was my main thing. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, the other one with her in the car and her profile, and she's wearing the hat. And then Prince William said that it was legit and he was taking her to an appointment. And that turned out to be fake. So you have thrice being tricked. And another thing I want to say is I look at other people's videos. And I don't remember everybody's name, unfortunately, because I don't really take notes, right? Like while I'm doing it, I'm scanning information. But a lot of the top psychics were getting the same cards. I read cards too, by the way. So I was getting some cards that other people were getting, and I thought my cards were saying that something very bad had happened to Kate Middleton. A lot of people were getting the Magician card, the Tower cards, a lot of sword cards, a lot of things of intrigue and trickery. And I think this was even before those pictures came out. Or maybe the first one came out, but these people were getting all these cards that were saying the same things. And some of them who were pro-Kate, like totally, I could tell by their facial reactions, they didn't want to tell the truth about what was happening when they were pulling the cards. So That was interesting. They saw something really very, very bad. And then the other thing that was happening is there were rumors that there was abuse in the relationship. And then I had seen pictures before where Kate Middleton's kids, the boys especially, I didn't see the daughter doing it, but they would grab their mom by the mouth and stick their finger in her face. And I was thinking, I never did that to my mom as a 8-year-old, 6-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever. I'd get my ass kicked. And not only that, they had to learn that somewhere. Who did they learn that from? Their father. Then I found out that William has a drinking issue. And then I saw videos of William rocking back and forth while he's doing an official appearance. I believe it was when he was giving his press secretary a medal for making up lies about Meghan and Harry. And by the way, I'm not into the whole team this and team that. I could give a fuck. I like looking at patterns. So getting back to what people are saying versus what the evidence is showing in the videos and the testimony by other people. Even Harry said in his book that William had hit him. So multiple people are saying William is abusive. Kate's been missing since December 25th. Now they're saying that William, again, today is St. Patty's Day. William is taking off for 4 weeks. Camilla took off, I don't know, a week or two ago. Allegedly, King Charles has cancer. I don't know. I don't really believe anything these people say based on their reaction. So I was taking screenshots while I was putting this story together, putting the facts, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and I started looking at photographs that involved Kate Middleton and Rose. And if you don't know who Rose is, Rose Hanbury, who's married to Rock Savage. He's got a funny name, Lord Chumbley or something, but who cares? I started looking at their pictures because there's pictures of Rose and her husband. Did I say his name right? I hope I did. So my brain just went dark because it's very important. What is his first name? Oh my goodness gracious. Where's my phone? I don't know if I have my phone right here, but anyway, let's just call him Rock Savage. The funny thing about Rock Savage is he lives mostly in France. He's extremely wealthy, but he was given a very impressive title, Lord in Waiting for Prince Charles. Also, his partner, who he lives with in France, what is his name? Francois Marie Bonnier. You know what he does for a living? He's a photographer. Also, multiple years ago, he was involved with the L'Oreal heiress and ripping her off, committing fraud, and he ended up going to prison. So remember this name, Francois Marie Bonnier. Hopefully I'm saying his last name right, spelled Banier. So you have, and I forgot to say, he's a homosexual. So he lives with Rock Savage, who is the husband, the beard of Rose. What would you say of two men that live together in a beautiful home in Paris? Wouldn't you say they were involved? And don't you find it interesting that Francois is a photographer, so he knows how to do Photoshop, and he knows about doing fraud? But anyway, let's get back to the point. Rose Hanbury's son was on the balcony with Kate, their children, their heir, who is a page for the king's coronation. But Rose Hansberry's son was also there next to the king and next to his heir. I'm not sorry, the king to be, William. And his heir, Rose Hansberry's son, was there, right? So Rose is married to a gay man. So who do you think that son is? You think it's Rock Savage's son? I don't know. But he has a position on the balcony as a page of the King of England. And also, Rose and her husband obviously have a special place in the king's heart. So she's accepted. So what I've noticed when I look at some of the photographs that they've been putting out is that they don't look real, especially the ones with Rose, Kate. Sorry, I played with my microphone. Rose, Kate, Williams, and Rock Savage. They don't Williams and Rock Savage. They don't look real. They look fake. And I would say that you can look on Daily Mail UK and then look at other images on Google and look at all those photographs and see if they look real to you. There's a picture of Rose and her husband standing next to each other, and it looks like they're at a garden party. They're into garden parties. But if you look at her dress, she's wearing a black dress, and he's wearing like very funny type sneakers. They're not, in other words, they're not like dress shoes. They're cool sneakers that are probably very, very expensive. But when you look at the bottom of her black dress, the way it hits his leg, it looks like it's photoshopped. And the people in the background, they look like they're not even there. And they're conveniently, their back is turned towards the camera, and you just see Rose and Rock Savage standing together, but their body language is totally separate. And Rock Savage has a look on his face like, I'm the trickster, I'm in on the joke. So I say to you, look at those photographs and see if these photographs look real to you. They don't to me. And like I said, I don't trust anything these people put out. But I don't think Kate Middleton has the time or the energy to edit photos. And even the story they put out, they try to blame her for the Photoshop that wasn't real anyway because it was AI generated. And they put out a fake press release and saying that she wrote that. She didn't write that. William is known for, or I should say, in my opinion, she didn't write that, allegedly. William is known for forging people's signature. He did it to his brother. Forging statements. So this gets back to deception. Why are they being deceptive? Why did they start putting out that Kate was embarrassing the crown and putting out those photographs, but yet she was unwell and she didn't want to do her royal duties? They were sabotaging her. They were gaslighting her. If you study psychopathic narcissism, there were things that they were doing that just proves that they were setting her up and trying to ruin her reputation. That's a classic sign of psychopathic narcissism, not to mention malignant narcissism. But a lot of times with narcissists, especially psychopathic, they'll get their friends to destroy your reputation. It happened to me. I've seen it happen to Tory Lanez. I've seen it happen to a lot of people. And they use other people like TMZ and Daily Mail or other entities to help them do their bidding. And that's why everything has to be researched and validated. You see what I'm saying? But if any of you have had issues with a psychopathic narcissist and people harassing you and making stuff about you, making stuff up, I mean, tabloid journalism started in England anyway, but you know, if you're all by yourself, there's not much you can do, especially if that other person is far more powerful than you are, which William is. And so, long story short, let me put it all together. Rose Hanbury and William are having an affair. They've been having an affair for a very long time. I think I read that Rose was at William and Kate's wedding. So she was like a Camilla. Camilla was with Charles when they were teenagers. This shit's crazy. Charles is getting karma in a horrible, horrible way. William has some serious issues. Oh, we didn't even talk about Thomas Kingston. Thomas Kingston, who was a financier and a former hostage negotiator. Thomas Kingston with a full head of hair, married to Lady Gabriella. But when I looked at the pictures between those two, it didn't ring true for me. I didn't really see like chemistry. I just saw duty. You know what I'm saying? So Thomas used to date Pippa. And one thing I've noticed about certain people, because I studied the 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, sometimes people, what was that movie about? Dangerous Liaison. That's what the movie was called, Dangerous Liaison. A lot of times a great seducer will date someone close to the person they actually want, and they create a three. Let's say a triangle. And the whole point is, by dating this other person, they're close to their target, and they're making the target jealous. But also, if the target has already fallen for the pursuer, at some point, someone may not know, as in Pippa. I don't know if Thomas Kingston and Kate Middleton were involved when Pippa was dating Thomas. But I believe, and I could be totally wrong, Thomas and Kate were somehow connected. And because they've been separated, I believe Kate Middleton and William have been separated for at least a year, living in separate palaces or cottages or whatever. And I think I heard someone say that they saw William going into Kensington Palace all the time, whereas Kate was living in a cottage. So, Kate is alone. William has Rose, maybe other people too. Kate might be lonely. It's only natural, right? So a charming man with a full head of hair, who's intelligent, who's empathetic, who's there, she might fall for him and he might fall for her. Because she already knows him because he dated Pippa, right? So what if those two fell in love? Or maybe not even love. What if they had a night of passion and Kate became pregnant and William found out? What do you think a person who drinks a lot, and by the way, Kate drinks too. She started a drinking club in college. Like, who the fuck does that? Like, you know, if I was going to start a group in college, it would not be about drinking. It would be martial arts. It would be dance. It would be black history. It would be something, or black, you know, but not fucking drinking. That's a very strange thing. Alcohol and spirits. But let's get back to the point. What if Kate got pregnant by Thomas and William found out about it? What do you think he'd do? But if you studied psychopathic narcissists or psychopaths or sociopaths, you realize that, you know, when they feel betrayed, they become extremely violent, or they can. So cutting her up in pictures or pieces, which I thought most of those photographs were, was a sign of something was terribly wrong. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if she's alive. I don't know if she's dead. A lot of the people who see things are saying, you know, the Kate we knew or we saw does not exist. Now they're saying that she will not be seen in Easter, and she will not be doing any videos before then because people wouldn't recognize her. Which, I mean, it makes you think, was she hurt? Was she hit? Was she abused by William? And we don't know. And they want us not to question the fact that William had bruises on his neck after parting with Thomas Kingston. And William did not go to his godfather's memorial. He checked out before he was supposed to speak, like 30, 40 minutes before. But he went to a pub. He was photographed drinking at a pub. So his priorities are very interesting. But now he's taking 4 weeks off, so. So let's get back to the main parts. Rose and William are having an affair. King Charles has given Rose's spirit of a husband a very high position. Lord in waiting. Rock Savage's, I want to call him husband. By the way, Rock Savage and Francois Marie Beignet have known each other since like the 80s or the 90s. And what I find hilarious about this tale is that a lot of these people knew each other for a long time, longer than the majority of people knew. And it would make sense. Rock Savage helping William deceive the public with the help of his husband, lover, roommate, would only raise his, what's the right word? Raise his status to the king, n'est-ce pas? And theoretically, when William became king, he would still rise up. You know what I'm saying? Because before I found out about Rock Savage, I was like, what kind of man is okay with his wife screwing another guy besides a cuckold? A gay guy. because he doesn't care. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, you guys look at the pictures. Majority of those photographs look fake to me. And again, the audacity of William to think he could fool the world and they were just going to believe anything that came out of his mouth, when the evidence, the marks on his neck, the story that came out that when Thomas died, William had nothing to do with it, even before we even thought about it. It's just, and also the fake photographs, and then blaming Kate, and then also all the things that happened to Meghan and Harry. It just rings like you have a very sick person who likes to be in control and wants people to do what he wants because he's the future king. And by the way, some people believe King Charles doesn't have cancer. They believe he's doing it to get time, and so they can come up with a better story about what to do with William. But also, he might advocate so William can be king, because a king is above the law, but a prince is not. Yeah, leave a comment down below. It's a wild story. But, you know, fairy tales are fairy tales and facts are facts. So we need the facts. And we can't trust what's coming out of the palace's mouth, obviously. But look up Francois Mélie Beignet. Look up Rock Savage Chambly, whatever the hell his name is, the guy married to Rose Hanbury. And look at all their photographs with Kate and William, because they look fake as hell. I don't think Kate would willingly take pictures with Rose. And I don't know the timeline about when they put in the press that Kate was no longer friends with Rose. I don't, it seems like they've been slowly trying to push Rose Hanbury in the press while, you know, tearing apart Kate Middleton. That's very spiteful. I don't know what she did or did not do, but it just seems like they're setting her up. And you guys, you know, there's someone, a life's involved, 2 lives. One's lost for sure. The other one, we don't know. I mean, literally, we don't know. But this is giving me the vibe of like Brian Laundrie, like after he killed his girlfriend and then came back home without her and tried to act like everything was fine. This is giving me that vibe, you know. But William thinks he's above accountability and he can do whatever he wants. But again, I don't think it's normal for his kids to be grabbing their mom's mouth and pointing fingers in her face. They've learned that behavior from somebody close to them. And I don't think it's the nanny. But yeah, hopefully, you know, the monarchy is going to fall, because this is just disgusting. Anyway, I mean, the other thing is, if you've read about Henry VIII or any Shakespeare tale, we know what these people are capable of. So this shouldn't be any surprise, but we're living it in real time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, send a super thanks, and I will talk to you later.